Hello brew tubers, and welcome to a very special brew day indeed. It's the first brew in my new brew shed. Finally got to the stage where I can move in and actually do a brew. Still got a little bit of work to do, just finishing touches, get a keezer, but in terms of actual brewing I can now brew in here, which is good. And it's also a year since I sort of started this whole brewing process. So the first alcoholic beverage I made was this rhubarb and ginger wine. I made 4 demijohns of it, I think it was. So that was a stone of rhubarb and a stone of sugar, and then just ginger added with a bit of red grape juice as well. I don't actually like this wine very much. It's okay, but it's not to my taste, but other people like it. So I thought it would be fitting a year on to brew with rhubarb again, but this time a beer. I'm going to do the Rhubarb Saison from the recipe from the Brew UK website. So that's the plan. So today is obviously doing the actual brew, then we'll be adding the rhubarb in the fermenter a week later. So Bulldog brewer is here. It's coming up to temperature now, which is at 40 degrees Celsius. So I'm just going to start the mashing preparations. So we've had a little bit of trouble with the digital box which controls my sparge heater. It's coming up with an error message, E1. So I've had to substitute it with an ordinary kettle lead and just get the element working. So I'll use a thermometer just to control the temperature. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that that digital control panel's broken for the Pico, so oh well, we'll get by. About to start mashing in now. Okay, so it's time to add the first bit of malt, a kilogram of Pilsner going in. First kilogram of Pilsner. Next to go in is 200 grams of rice hulls. First time using rice hulls. Give that a good stir. So next we have 500 grams of golden naked oats and 500 grams of wheat malt going in. Give it a good stir. Next is a kilogram of Munich malt, and lastly another 1.5 kilograms of Pilsner malt. Right, so I'll carry on stirring like mad, getting rid of all the dough balls, and we'll come back in a little while. Nearly forgot, the recipe does ask for 450 grams of dextrose. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in as well. So finally, put the sparge plate in, as you can see, and I've just started the recirculation of the wort. So that's going quite well. The mash temperature is 67 degrees Celsius, and I'll mash that for an hour and 15 minutes. In it has gone 2.5 kilograms of Pilsner malt, a kilogram of Munich malt, 500 grams of wheat malt, 500 grams of naked oats, 200 grams of rice hulls, and 450 grams of dextrose brewing sugar. So that's all in there now. Stirred it all in, got rid of all the dough balls, and I've set the recirculation and laundering. So going fairly well. So just sparging at the moment with about 77 degrees Celsius water, nice and gently. I'll sparge up to about 27-28 litres for the boil. So first hop addition at 60 minutes, 28 grams of Northern Brewer. So 30-minute hop addition, 42 grams of Saaz hops. In like that. So 15 minutes, adding 5 grams of Irish moss. Ran out of Protoclock tablets. So that's all of the hop additions in now. So just quick run through of what went in. So at 60 minutes it was 28 grams of Northern Brewer. At 30 minutes it was 42 grams of Saaz. And at 5 minutes it was 56 grams of East Kent Goldings, 22 grams of coriander, 10 grams of juniper, and a couple of teaspoons of ginger compound extract thing, and obviously a teaspoon of Irish moss as well. So that's the last 5 minutes now, and I'll get the water chiller in and get that cooled down into the fermentation bucket. So we're at flame out now. Just pop the water chiller in and got that going, cooling down the wort. So yes, all going well. Right, so the wort's chilled to the correct temperature. So I'm just filling up the fermentation bucket. As you can see, I'm doing it from height to get the aeration in. So yes, it's all going well, and I'll be pitching yeast in a moment. So the hydrometer reads about 1050, which is about right for this beer, so that's good. Yeah, so let's bang on the numbers. So I've hit about 23 litres, so it's time to add the Belgian Saison ale yeast, White Labs. So that is the main part of brew day done. It's in the fermenter, the yeast has been pitched, and that's going to be fermenting. So in a week's time it's adding 1 kilogram of rhubarb, and then after that another week before I can hopefully bottle. So yes, it's been a fairly good brew day. I mean, I've had worse, I've had better. Obviously it's a case of just learning the best method of doing it in the new shed, and just sort of moving in and getting everything placed. You know, there's a couple of times where I had to sort of rummage around and find things from the garage. But in general, a moderately successful brew day. I'm fairly happy with how it's gone. Everything's tidied up now, and yes, I will see you in a week. I'm doing this as a grain to the last video, so you'll see me in a minute, but I will see you in a week for the rhubarb edition. So I will go pick that next weekend and chop it and blanch and stew it, and yeah, we'll go from there. So here is the rhubarb for the Rhubarb Saison. Well, some of it. I've got a load for my brother as well. To be honest, I think next year I'll start the rhubarb anniversary beer a bit sooner, because it's a bit skanky at the moment. So we've just got the rhubarb to chop up here. Going to be 1 kilogram of rhubarb going into the brew altogether. So let's get this chopped up, not very interesting to watch, and we'll get on to the boiling, stewing of the rhubarb. That's more than enough rhubarb to go in the beer, so I'm just going to get that boiled down, see what weight we've got after boiling, and go from there. So I've got the gas lit, so it's on with the rhubarb in the old pressure cooker. So we've had to go a bit old-fashioned with the old heating up of the rhubarb. The gas stove I had run out of gas, so I got the old burners. So there's the rhubarb on there, and I will also get the top of the pressure cooker on it as well. Lovely jobby, so we'll let that stew and let it cool down and then add it to the beer. So as you can see, we're steaming away quite a bit now. Lovely smell of rhubarb in the shed, and paraffin as well, but yeah, it's quite nice. Rather camping sort of feeling. Might have to do some sausages later. And my lunch and a cup of tea's arrived. What could be better? Right, so the rhubarb has cooled down sufficiently. So I'm going to be adding the rhubarb to the saison. It certainly smells good. And then just add it in here. Try to be as gentle as I can. So we've reached the end of fermentation. 1.004 I make that. So I'm fairly happy that the fermentation process is finished. As you can see, it's a very good colour, sort of a nice urine yellow. No, it's a lemony yellow. Got a really odd nose to it though. You smell the coriander, actually. Yeah, that coriander flavour really does come through. Bit of pepperiness in there as well, and a slight orangey flavour. Am I getting any rhubarb though? There's a tartness to it. It's certainly interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm going to bottle it now and see how it tastes after it's carved up a bit. This is the best way to do bottling on fine. Rinse the bottles out in the sink. Listen to some music. Then give them a rinse with the old cleaner. And then pop them in the crate, ready to bottle. Next one, rinse out. Bit of a clean. And in the crate. Right, so the bottles have been sanitised. I'm now racking off the beer from the fermentation vessel into the bottling vessel. As you can see down here. So just filtering it through the hot spider to get rid of all the rhubarby gunk. So I'm adding 188 grams of priming sugar to the beer. So I've got just under 23 litres. So just being very careful not to aerate the beer as I put that in. Let's give that a nice little stir, a gentle stir though. Now we'll get on to bottling. Right, so the as I said, the 23 litres of, well 23 litres of wort have been batch primed using 188 grams of brewing sugar. So just going to start bottling now. Use the bottling wand. I do a couple of clear bottles just so I can see how the beer is clearing itself. I'll keep these in a nice dark cupboard just so the sunlight doesn't affect anything. Right, so I've got 20 500 milliliter bottles here and an assortment of swing top bottles also filled, including one 1.5 litre bottle. So I'm just going to, these are all being sanitised, these caps. So I'm just going to pop them on the top of each bottle and then get onto the bench presser. If you haven't got a bench presser, get one, because they're so much better than the dual handle things. So much better. Right, so the bench capper. Get one bottle and top. Put it underneath. Adjust the height. And then give it a good old down with the lever. And that's done. Next one. I need to get some more regular sized bottles, so you have to keep adjusting the old capper here. Down. Next one under. Just. And it needs to be a bit further down. There we go. Next one, adjust, there we go. So that's bottling done. I capped about 24 bottles, the rest are all swig tops, so that's the sort of 22.5 litres all done. Very quick with the old bottling now. As I said, I've got the plunger, as you saw, to sanitise the bottles, just give them a rinse down, and the bench capper, as you can see how quick that is. So yes, it makes life a bit easier with all the rise equipment. So just need to wait 2 weeks for it to carbonate. Should be 3 carbons per whatever it is. That's how much I primed it for. I didn't end up keeping any of it, it all went in bottles. And yes, so if it's any good, we'll see how it goes. So next time you'll see me will be for the grand tasting for Annus Primus, the beer's called, year 1. So yes, fairly successful day. The only problem was the little fruit flies buzzing around me. 2 of the little bastards. Anyway, we've got this here to try and get rid of them. Yeah, so yeah, see what it tastes like. So we've come to the end. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, by the way, for it is a Wednesday. The Saison is ready. That's the colour of it. You see, it's can't really see too well in this light, but it's fairly clear. Sort of nice yellowy colour. And just opening this little small bottle here, tulip glass. So we'll see how it's turned out. Right, so as you can see, it's quite a healthy level of carbonation, and it's only had a couple of days in the bottle. That is rather, looks a little bit darker on the camera than it actually is. Sort of a rich straw gold colour. So quite a bit of head still. Just quickly wipe up the mess. Quite a sort of a yeasty, spiced, hint of citrus aroma on the nose. So look at that very, very tight head there. Good amount of carbonation. I think I bottled it last week, so it hasn't taken long to carb up. Anyway, we'll dive in and see what it tastes like. It has that typical Saison flavour, that sort of spicy citrus taste to it. It also has a bit of tartness, which comes from the rhubarb. There isn't an obvious rhubarb flavour in it though. I'm getting the coriander a lot. There's a lot of coriander flavour in it, but rhubarb is a little bit lacking, I think. Coriander is a really big flavour. I can really taste that. Can I taste any juniper berries? Not really. Rhubarb there's that rhubarb tartness to it. No obvious rhubarb flavour. It's a smooth enough beer to drink. The mouthfeel isn't dry, but there's a bit of a dryness on the throat as you drink it, but the mouthfeel isn't dry, just the throat, which is quite interesting. It's a little bit different. I think it's just a good example of a Saison rather than Rhubarb Saison. Had you not been told there was rhubarb in it, you wouldn't notice. Let's say that. There isn't any rhubarb flavour to it. Nice enough beer, but a bit gassy though. It's quite highly carved. Probably one of the best looking beers I've made. That head's staying there. I'll see what the rest of the bottle's like, but so far I'd say it's only been a couple of weeks after I brewed it, so it's still very early days for the beer. I'm fairly happy with it though. We'll see how it goes. There's plenty to send out for beer mail, so if you are interested in trying the Rhubarb Saison Annus Primus, then let me know and I'll see if I can send a bottle or two out for you. It's just a good Saison, you know, so it's just what it is, you know, nothing more, nothing less. Anyway, that brings an end to the video. First grained glass, and crikey, are they quite difficult to make. Hope you enjoyed it, and yes, as I said, if you do want to try some of this, then drop me a PM or whatever on Facebook, and I'll see if I can send you a bottle out. So, cheery bye for now.